Hello there, it's Richard, the retired boomer outdoors. It's been 13 months since my last post, September of 2023, when we tried to do the Gray Owls river tour. We'll call it that. Anyways, yeah, it's been quite an eventful year. I hope to get started back up again now and get lots more videos posted. This year's been kind of intriguing. I wasn't retired for a while. I worked 3 months trying to sell RVs. That doesn't work so good in a recession. And I was working November, December, January, and part of February. So yeah, kind of the slow months. But I just couldn't see that was going to work out for me, especially having to work 6 days or 5 days a week throughout the summer. And so I wouldn't be able to do my trips and stuff. Oh, I had trouble with my GoPro. It kept shutting off every time I tried to do videos. I hope that's fixed. It just shut off again, so I don't know what's going on there. So what today is it's October 24th. It's a Friday. And what I'm going to do this weekend is I'm doing a walkthrough and testing of all my gear for the 2024 season. I've had lots of changes. So the first thing we're going to take a look at here is a tent that was sent to me by Bugout. They're out of Korea. This is called the Mushe 3. It's a 12 by 12 inflatable tent. 2 windows on this side, venting above the door. We got windows here on both sides. Again, on this side. Now, part of the testing process is I wanted to see how long the inflation lasts. This is the 3rd weekend I've had it up, so it's been up for over 3 weeks, and it's been really quite hard. I touched it today when I got here. I put a couple of pounds in it just because I wanted to see how much it would take, but it took only a couple of, well, maybe 10 pumps from the pump, and we were ready to go. The other thing we're going to be testing today is the new stove. It's called a Bowen Manufacturing. They're out of Oregon. So I have a new pellet stove. My last one out of Alaska, I think I just burned the thing out. So here it is here. It's got a 4-inch chimney, and I just put 20 pounds of pellets in there, and there's still, probably looks like it could take at least another 10 pounds of pellets. So this is the inside of the Bugout Mushe 3. We've got a stove hole. I didn't mind cutting it, but one thing that does bother me is that the tent fabric, I'm going to tilt this up, the tent fabric, they should have made sure there's no tent fabric around the silicone. So before I start up the chimney, the stove, I want to make sure I cut all this material out so that it's not going to catch fire and stuff, because I'm sure that's not, it's just regular tent material. So this particular tent is 12 by 12. So far, I'm fairly impressed with it. They sell them on eBay, not eBay, Amazon. I think it's $11.99 when I wrote to them and asked them, but I think they're $12.99 now. It's got lots of room in it here. It's exactly twice the size of my Bear Egg Russian Bear insulated tent that I've been using for the last 2 years. This one is not insulated and is only single layer. When I got here today, you can see there's a whole bunch of condensation on the roof. So I would have thought that would have disappeared, but it hasn't. So anyways, over here we've got just an open area. I'm hoping now I can have 2 people in here with no problem rather than having to use bunk beds. It's a little difficult when you're old. You have to kind of toss a coin to see who gets stuck on top, because they got to climb down in the middle of the night. We're also going to do a review on the disco bed, not as a bunk bed, but as a single bed. I'm just going to review the pad, the pad and everything, how it assembles. We're also going to do a review on a lantern here. Starts here. It's called an OU Task. We'll look at that when it gets darker tonight in further detail. We're also going to do a review on the Rally 1200 solar generator. We'll get that started up later tonight when we sit down to watch some movies. We got an HP 27-inch and Microsoft Surface computer, and then the captain's chair, which I've just got set there for now. And then over here, I got another 20 pounds of pellets just in case. I've got fire starter, welding gloves, thermometer, and carbon monoxide tester. Then here's our bone manufacturing again. This is it from the outside. It's got quite a bit of mass to it. I have no idea how well it's going to burn. I tried it in a test back in June, and I had to turn the thumb screw way out because it was just too hot. But I also couldn't get it hot, which was really weird. I was using hardwood pellets, and I don't think this likes hardwood pellets because I just couldn't get what I thought should have been the right amount of heat out of it. And then we've got the gate valve here for dropping pellets into the hopper, like from the hopper down into the stack there. And so I guess the idea is if you want to shut your stove off, you can bring this closed, let it burn off, and then you can shut it down. So we're gonna, once again, we're gonna try this out this weekend. This is part of what's had me delayed, is because of the fact I'm figuring this is gonna put out so much heat with a 4-inch chimney. Normally I'm used to 60 millimeter or a 2.5-inch chimney. So with a 4-inch, that means there's got to be a heck of a lot more combustion going on. So that's it for now. I'm going to show you another addition to the Retired Boomer. Okay, so another addition to the Retired Boomer outdoors is my Bugout trailer. I got tired of carrying all my supplies from the front of the house, putting them in the truck, carrying them from the storage shed, and then there's snow and everything along the side of the house. I just got tired of that. So I bought this Bugout trailer. I've made some modifications to it. I've got solar on the roof. I've got some motion sense lights here, so animal walks by at night and turns the lights on. I know there's motion out here. I've got an RV type door. I just put this window in just so you can see outside. I didn't want to walk out and be a pack of wolves or something standing out there. And then I've made some small modifications in here. Ooh, let me turn some lights on. There we go. So we've got our solar controller over here. Let me see if I can get you some more light here. Oh, there we go. Is that better? There we go. So over here in the corner we've got a Renogy solar controller. It looks like the batteries are charged. We're doing 0 amps. We've got solar cutoff, fuses, a control panel here, so I can turn sockets on and off in different areas of the trailer. I've got 300 amp hours of lithium iron phosphate batteries with heating pads underneath them, so when it gets below -20 and they won't take a charge. I've got reptile pads. I'll talk about that later. Then I added in this little counter space up front here, and then I just put these folding shelves in. And I got folding shelves up here and then storage up front here. So this part of the trailer is what I call my warm zone, and that's so I don't like cooking in the tent. I don't like the flavors and the smells to be left in there, so I cook in here, and this is where I eat. We've also got down here a Vavor fridge. Goes from, what do we got set up now? We got it set at 1 degree right now, and it goes down to -20, so it acts as a good fridge and a freezer. Controls everything. I've got these controlled outlets here, and then in order to keep the front portion warm, so I can keep all my water and materials that I need to keep fluid, I've got a Vavor 8 kilowatt diesel heater. You've seen lots of these around. And then here in the back in the cold section, I've got all my shelving. So I've got stoves. I've got 4 different types of stoves. I've got 100 pounds of pellets. I've got a wood stove, pellet stove, mats. The old tent is down there. The top of the bunk bed is here, and then of course I've got other things that you might need parts. I've got Coleman lanterns in case we run out of batteries. I got solar panels up top here so we can charge up the solar charger. I've also got solar panels in here that are flexible. This part becomes the freezer in winter, and I'm just kind of cleaning up cabinets and containers. That's why these extra containers are in here. They're normally not here. You can walk all the way down through this area. And then over here we've got the Vapor heater. I got a 10-liter kerosene heater, stored 10 liters of diesel fluid. This I find lasts me over 2 days. So I leave the unit on 24 hours a day, keeps the front part warm, and then this is just doing what it does. It seems to work really good as far as I'm concerned. I had to replace it. I had a max speeding rods, but it didn't work. It failed. So we're going to try the Vapor. I've had good luck with other Vapor products, and their warranty has been really, really good. So I'm happy with that. Okay, let's continue on with our review of the Bowen Manufacturing pellet stove. I don't know the model number or anything, but it's got a huge hopper on it. You can see here I put 20 pounds in yesterday. That 20 pounds only lasted 4 hours. So it got pretty hot in this tent. And it was only about -1 outside. One thing I do want to state is that this is how you control combustion, and then they have a fine-tuning adjustment here using this cap screw, and you use the cap screw to adjust the burn rate. I'm gonna see if I can stick it in here so you can see it. Not very good. There's a little grate there. Pellets fall down to it. This is your grate handle here. This allows the pellets to drop into the burner area. Okay, so last night it was up in the red when I had the 20 pounds in 4 hours burn, but once I turned in that cap screw, I put another 20 pounds in last night, and it lasted all night, and it was up burning here in the orange range, which is pretty good. This morning when I got up, I had a hard time getting it up into the orange. It wanted to stay in the yellow, and I think what it was is it was so full of ash inside. Now with regards to the distribution of heat, this was glowing red here along with a few other places, and what happened was that the heat was all being distributed into the side of the tent here and the side of the tent and at the roof. So once I got it under control, I was able to get the temperature down, side of the tent cooled off. I'd opened the windows just so I didn't burn the fabric. But the problem I seemed to have overnight was getting the heat from the stove over to the bed area. So I had that one fan on top of the stove, and I've added a second one now on the chimney to see if I can get some additional airflow. Now the wind was blowing from this way like this, so it's the same problem I've always had in cold weather. Always set up your tent with your stove at the front or leading edge of your wind. So the wind that's outside actually blows the heat through the tent in the proper direction. So let's see if that, next time I set up, I'll see if that works better. Other than that, pretty good. I cleaned out the hopper this morning. That's the ash from 40 pounds of pellets. Pretty good, not too bad. And let's move on. We'll try it. When I light it up tonight, I'll continue on the review. Okay, so here's another item we're doing a review on. It's called a Run Hood Rally 1200. It's a 1200 volt amp solar generator. We've seen all sorts of solar generators. This one currently I'm charging it with solar. I've got a 100-watt solar panel. We're only inputting 0 watts. probably because the sun's starting to go down already. AC, turn the AC control off so you can have DC feed, AC feed. Now, an interesting thing here, this is supposed to go 1200 watts or 1200 volt amps, but I was unable to get my air compressor or my air inflator to run through the cigarette lighter. It would light up, but it would not run. It just sat there. So I don't know if the voltage was too low coming out and the air inflator didn't like it or whatever. This solar port here can also be used by a charger, which comes with it, a 200 watt AC charger, or you can plug in a regular directly into your AC using a cord there. One thing I have noticed is that the charge doesn't go above 99% when you use the AC directly. It takes a really long time, multiple plugging in and out. However, if you use the AC charger, it will go to 100%. I don't know if that's a flaw or it's just a glitch. One of the things I like about this particular unit is the replaceable batteries. So if you pull like this, you can take a battery out and can replace it. I have 2 spares so that if I do drop the voltage or the battery life too far, I can take the battery out and put it in another one. They also ship with an adapter. I bought the extra adapter actually, which allows you to hook up the solar panel directly to the battery unit itself. So you can charge the batteries externally outside of the solar generator, which makes it a lot more convenient. Back in the spring, I had 2 batteries I wanted to charge. I hooked them up to the solar panel, had them out in the front of the trailer in the sun, and they charged up within a couple of hours. We were charging at about 150 watts that day. So it's the same as AC power. Okay, so we were also going to do a review here of the disco bed system. I don't know how many of you are too familiar with it. Disco bed makes a bunk bed in essence. I have the top bunk currently used. The reason I like using the top bunk is because I have these 7-inch extensions raising it another 7 inches off the ground, so that it just makes it easier to get in and out. It's not quite as low. Disco bed comes with your bedside organizer, and it's your standard pad, flat pad for lying on. I use an R10 insulated mattress pad underneath my sleeping bag. The concept is pretty good. It's awkward to put together though. There's so many pieces. Each side has 3 rails that you have to put together. Then you gotta slide the pad or the sleeping hammock part of it all the way down. It's heavy. It's awkward. So they come in several different sizes. I have 2 sizes. I have the large and the extra large. This is the extra large. I think it's about 36, 38 inches, 36 inches wide, something around there. Oh, I got more neighbors showing up again. If you don't need a bunk capacity, I'd get a different type of system. But if you want to have that capability of having a bunk bed, then it's about one of the only things on the market. If you check out Atek Alesi, they're from Turkey, you can see that they use the disco bed system and they turn it into a couch. I've never bothered to turn it into a couch because to me it seems like too much work. I said yesterday I was going to cut away the fabric. I did. I cut away all the fabric from the chimney to make sure that it didn't catch on fire last night or melt or do anything. Okay, so it's about 5 degrees in here, I think. 10 degrees. So it's time to try and light this up. So you bring this hopper handle over. I'm gonna have to put it down. Sorry guys. Okay, so that opened the hopper. All the pellets fall down. Now we gotta light the pellets. Let's see if that's enough. Get it started. I'll just put this up here a bit. Nope, we'll leave it like that for now, and we'll wait until the fan turns on the top here. And as soon as that fan turns on, I'm going to set the temperature, set the gate closed. Okay, so this thing I have in my hand here is called an OU Task. It's a flashlight type gadget. I wouldn't call it a flashlight, but it's like a camping lantern style. Push the button on the bottom. Oops. And 3 legs pop out, which gives it its base. And we put it down on the floor like that, and you go, well, that's not very good. And grab this pole, and this pole comes up, and there's a power button over here in case we're fully charged. There we go. So now we've got light there. You can push it, it goes brighter, brightest, and then dimmer, and then there's another color in there somewhere. Huh. I don't know, it's like a nightlight mode. And then you put that down here, and then you can tilt it. So you can shoot it directly up. You can shoot it on the side. You can shoot it down like this. Now I have it on my bedside table, so it can shoot over on top of my bed. It's all right. It's got a USB-C charger and a USB-A output. Everything's got a frickin' USB-A output nowadays. Everything's got a battery, but it's a flashlight. I don't want to be draining it to run something else. It's okay. I can't remember what the price is. I got these off Kickstarter. I know it took over 2 years to get them from the Kickstarter campaign. I think it was 3 units for $200 or $169 US. Is it worth it? No, I would say not. There is a knockoff now, I think, on Amazon and eBay. I don't know what their pricing is, but it's a cool device, but I'm not gonna jump up and down. The battery life's pretty good though. I used it all last evening on the low setting, which is what it is now, which is more than enough just to kind of heat the view, you know, open up the tent for some light to see things. Other than that, it's fine. Would I jump out and get it? If I saw it for maybe $69 Canadian, yes. 89, yeah, maybe not. I'm sure there's got to be some better alternatives. I still like a Coleman propane or naphtha lantern myself. That just feels more like camping. Plus they give off a lot of heat, so they add to heating in your tent. Okay, so it's been 2 or 3 minutes, and we're not seeing the temperature rising up yet on the chimney. We have no fan motion, and looks like we have some burn, so I'm gonna close this up anyways. It seems to burn better. I'm gonna turn the knob though, and there, we'll leave that like that, and then I'll shut it down in a few minutes once everything starts to warm up. Okay, so you can see we're at mid-temp. It's taken about 15 minutes so far. So I need to shut down the temperature before it gets too high. So I'm gonna wiggle this in to about there. I want to keep this around the 300 mark.